Oh, this could be the S guard. Whoa!
Welcome everybody. We are going now with Bryav versus Anality. Bryav having fought all the way up from first round through second round versus Solid, who was a second round start. So Bryav fighting the way up the bracket right now, playing with that Snake, going up against Anality. Anality, as usual, pulling out Terry, loves the fighting game characters. So we will see how this one is going for the two of them right now. Bryav looks like a bit of an uphill. Excellent job with those grenades, though, keeping Anality having to keep that shield pressure on, able to even out the percentages here. Almost perfect timing there. Terry does an excellent job getting back to stage, and this is the dangerous part you have to watch out for. Terry has the go moves unlocked right now, which means with that 100%, that's a dangerous spot for Snake to be in, doing everything that Bryav can right now to keep that pressure on and use those explosives, able to perfectly predict Anality getting out of that grab and dodging around. Snake uses that explosion, gets the first stock, so Bryav is actually in the lead on this one and continues just that climb right now. Beautiful job just thinking so hot with all of those explosives. Again, gets another up smash there and had to hold on to the shield, able to use the grenades to launch himself away. Anality finding that pressure right now, though, needs to find a kill, only at 50%, whereas Bryav's at 153. Means that if Anality can find much of any combo, is able to get in and get this kill, but having a hard time doing that, Bryav actually turns that ledge situation around and now has Anality off the ledge there, trying to push in through all of these explosives. Anality has the go moves unlocked again, but didn't do too much for them last time, so we're gonna have to see how they're able to push in. Another explosive there, perfectly placed for that power dive. Again, as I was talking about earlier, you just love to see these projectile characters with projectiles everywhere. Anality finally able to find that kill, but at 149% right now, maybe a little bit too high. Anality does a great job grabbing that grenade, though, throwing it back. Just a little bit less nonsense in their face. Again, though, Bryav just has things placed everywhere right now and knows what to do with all of them. Anality is now down a stock, still obviously able to go either way, but Anality is going to have to keep this pressure on, and Snake just has the option to play a more distance game. Pushes in, though, perhaps takes a little bit of a punishment for that. And now Bryav is at upper 70s in percentage, both of them trading blows right now. A double explosion there. It looked like Anality was able to push in, find that grab, but Bryav had things placed on both sides, grenade and then that up smash, able to go ahead and drop two explosions right on Anality's head, racking up that percentage again. And Bryav looking for this finish out near the ledge, but gives Anality enough room to find those go moves, which is going to be enough to take that last stock of Bryav. Anality now at over 100% means that the go moves are unlocked for Terry, but Bryav does have 0 percentage and able to find that kill, taking no damage, just plenty of explosives on the screen. Hard for Terry to get back. The recovery is just a little bit more predictable because you only have so many ways to go, and once you've committed to a path, you only have so many moves that you can use to help you along that path. Snake able to find that and get the finish. That is Bryav for the first game. It'll be interesting to see. Anality probably switching up on this one, I'm going to make the assumption, because lots of fighting game characters under their belt here. Pulling out this time with the Ryu. And again, believe we're just hopping straight back to PS2 and Snake, obviously, for Bryev. Yep, absolutely. And Anality perhaps making this decision, using those fireballs, able to deal with a few more projectiles than the wave was able to, means that Anality's able to push in just a little bit safer, and those fireballs obviously going to set off all the explosives that they get in the way through, and the stronger fireball piercing through those as well. Anality definitely able to do a better job of pushing in closer. Bryev accidentally rolling into that fireball. Didn't have too much of an option there, though. Getting things placed on the ground definitely keeps them out of the range, though, of Anality. And some beautiful job with the missile control there. Anality does a great job, though, running over it and avoiding the trigger mine on the ground as well. Both of them just playing a heavy projectile game right now. Both of them playing like more zoner characters than you often see out of these two. Obviously, both of them have their main projectile gameplay, but they have strong hits up close, so that's normally what you see once things get going with either of these characters, but neither one really finding a good way to approach right now. Anality just spamming out those fireballs, wants them to hit. Oh, but there it is. That's that up close approach that we wanted to see. Anality able to first find that little sweep, and then with the kick, launches Bryev far away. Bryev now on the offensive. Lots of explosives on the ledge there. It looks like the same thing again, though. Anality gets that first leg sweep, and then that side special, able to find a little bit more room for the KO. Bryev pushing in this time, trying to clean up and tie those stocks down a little bit. Able to get the ledge pressure, was not able to find before. Anality takes a bit of a hit in order to get back. Looks like it worked out, though. Bryev launching Anality from one side of the screen to the other, but Anality now is back on stage. Makes it so that they're in a bit safer spot. Able to start launching those projectiles again. Snake with that such low crawl, able to crawl directly under the fireball. Did not know that interaction happens. That was actually kind of crazy to see. And Anality goes in really hard to try and find that kill, but not able to outrun the missiles when they get up to speed. Again, we're seeing that projectile gameplay. Both characters now in upper percentages. Anality 175 now. Not able to get in without losing that stock to Bryev. Bryev, though, at 108, gonna have to find something with about half of the match already used up time-wise. Bryev is gonna have to close this out. But again, we're back to that projectile gameplay. And while Snake has more options, the Ryu's Fireball just tends to deal with most of them. That's not to say that Anality doesn't have to do things here to be able to keep things from getting in close. A beautiful job using the armor on the up smash, so that Anality does not go flying, able to land low to the ground, finds a forward smash, almost able to take out Bryev there. And Bryev perhaps playing very dangerously, but needs to find this kill, pushes in close at 187. There's that leg sweep, and despite the air dodge, Bryev is not able to get out of that. It's that same KO we saw from earlier. That leg sweep comes out fast from Ryu, and then you don't have much you can do besides find the perfect dodge for the perfect read there. Anality at over 100%, but right now Bryev is just not finding anything to get in. Anality grabbing the grenade and throwing it back as well, though does get hit by a missile, not able to find the way back to the ledge after that, and Bryev takes the stock there. Right now, 1-1. And at only 49%, Bryev perhaps has found the way to catch up on this match. Grenades flowing everywhere. A kick perhaps wasn't the right move there. Anality takes a little percentage, but immediately turns that around, perhaps just making Bryev get a little too careful. We have that that platform gameplay is a little bit safer for these two. Both of them a little bit slower when they're getting up in the air. Bryev keeping the pressure on. Almost gets that down special from Ryu, which definitely would have taken this. Able to just barely keep out of that despite being locked in the side B. Bryev just keeping the distance right now. But does get hit again by Anality. Not able to find a landing right now. You definitely don't want to get hit at this high percentage this late in the game. We got a minute left, both of them definitely somewhere close where a strong hit's going to take one of them out. And that's it. That's going to be a Shuriken by Ryu. Anality has now tied this up. This is semifinals, so we are going to be playing best of 5. So right now, that means they're both at 1 win, and both of them need 2 more to go. So essentially, we have set this back to a best of 3 situation, but both of them with a little bit more knowledge under their pockets to push on forward. Immediately starting that one back in again. We're not swapping the stage, not swapping up the characters this time. Anality must feel more confident with the Ryu, throwing out those fireballs constantly, and Bryev obviously holding on to that snake. That was a close round, so it feels like the right call to make. Immediately throwing those grenades in, just chipping off what percentage that you can. Right now, mostly just little doinks from these grenades is all that we're coming through with. Anality able to finally push in close enough and get some hits, perhaps trying to play a more up-close game, but hard to do when you're playing against Snake. Always got explosives or traps waiting somewhere for you. Anality backing off this time, and then as soon as I say that, immediately switches the tactics, pushes in, gets those nice hits. Amazing play around that controlled explosive on the ground there. Uses the armor to push through from this down special, get through a missile from Snake there. And Snake able to avoid going too far off ledge with the grenade in his hands. Bryev finding the way back to stage, but it's not enough. Again, that side special from Anality able to find the finish. Another fireball. This one is not enough, but immediately lands, does a leg sweep into another fireball. Anality now in the lead stock-wise and racking up that percentage. Just kind of keeping the stage full of things. And none of them close enough to really do any damage. Getting doinked by, occasional grenades, but there's a missile comes around the back, able to hit Bryev, or able to hit Anality, but that is a trade for getting hit by the fireball. Again, Bryev just not really finding anything more than these little chips here and there, and at the stock loss, gonna have to find something out. And now Bryev pushing in too far, getting spiked all the way down, and that's going to be another stock. Right now, Anality is 2 up, but at 110%. Gonna have to play this more carefully, getting that chip damage off. That is not chip, that is immediately 36%. Finds the way back on the stage from that transaction, and looking perhaps to find some sort of kill. Not able to do it. Snake's down aerial, able to find a safe way back, ducking under the fireball, and actually hitting the punch right as that armor ends, It's usually a really safe one for Ryu to be able to go for if you find that timing right, but not this time. Bryav looking to take this stock, able to do it with the side B, the missile from Snake. And this time, Snake's the one doing a little bit of leg sweeping, using that crawl, that very low profile that we talked about earlier with Snake, able to just work off and get close in there. Beautiful job by Anality, able to get in past all of those explosives there and racked up Snake here to 100%. Does a back air. And now Anality is looking for the finish, and there it is, just another side B. It's been reliable, it's been working.
Give it your all.
All right, so that is now Anality up 1. It's a 2-to-1 situation. If Anality can take this again, then Bryav will have to hop down into the redemption losers bracket there. And again, they hop right back into it again. We're going to be seeing another Pokemon Stadium 2 here. Snake versus Ryu. Been interesting to see how this is evolving with Anality now playing a lot more of a careful game, using these fireballs just to push everything off, but then making incredibly bold and quick plays, pushing forward when they are ready to approach. But Bryav also making some adaptations here, perhaps now being the one to push forward a little bit more. Oh, but that again is going to be that leg sweep double hit into the side special for Anality. It's just been working wonders, and that's an uppercut for the kill. Anality is now up 1 stock, but able to be juggled by Bryav, but it's not enough. Bryav committed to trying for a smash when Anality was landing. Anality able to turn that round and get a little bit of combo there, 33 damage off. Now Anality's trying to find the landing. Thought they were going to. Bryav that time able to predict what exactly is going to happen and get the KO. Now they're both down 1 stock. And the stakes are high for Bryav right now. As we said, Bryav needs to be able to win this one to be able to continue up. If Anality finds this win, then that means this match will be over between the two of them. And this time, leg sweeps into the fireball for Anality. Keeping their percentage low right now seems to be kind of mandatory, and able to stack it up right now on Bryav. Bryav has everything across the stage right now. And again, like we were saying, Anality pushes in hard. And with everything across the stage, there wasn't much Bryav could do about that. And through that series of plays, Bryav loses another stock, and Anality right now up a stock, not too much percentage, in a pretty good position. Everything across the stage perhaps a bit too much for Anality though, and Bryav able to land a few little floor explosive hits. Gonna stack up a little bit of percentage, but not enough to really put Anality in a dangerous spot. Grenades going all over the stage keeps Anality having to play around them and avoiding any hits right now. But as long as Anality can be avoiding these hits, then they are pretty safe. Doing what they can to take things out, slowly make their way, pushing forward actually in this situation. Maybe just a little bit because Snake's throwing the projectiles around and they're not on top of him if he's been chucking them out. Snake can definitely struggle with that like mid-range gameplay, because again, really strong hits if you get up close against somebody, and you can drop your grenades and whatnot right next to you. But that mid-range definitely seems to be the area that Anality likes to play with this matchup, knowing that it's not going to be as strong for Snake here. And seems to be working out. Again, that platform just a little bit safer for these two characters against each other. So we are getting a lot of Bryev up there, but without being able to find the approach, this might be a difficult situation for them. We've been seeing lots of that side B being able to put in a lot of momentum for Bryev. That is not enough, jumps right into another Shuriken, and that is going to be the KO for Anality, moving forward into our winners finals. And Bryev going to have to make the climb on up.